What's going on, guys and girls? It's Ghost Robo, and I am insanely excited to bring you a brand new bold game coming out this holiday season. Today is the worldwide gameplay reveal of Outriders, and we're here with brand spanking new footage for a game that's coming, and I love saying this, it's coming to PS5, Xbox Series X, it's coming to next gen, baby. It feels so good. We're getting so close to the big new consoles. It's also on PC and PS4 and Xbox One, but it's coming to next gen. It's People Can Fly, the people that did Bulletstorm, Gears Judgment, and they are bringing their twist and their take and their intensity to the looter shooter genre. They call this an RPG shooter with more RPG and more depth, where you just happen to shoot. But boy, does it have a lot of intensity, visceral action, dismemberment, gore, monsters, and mayhem. I think you're all going to like it. So big thanks to Square Enix for inviting me to their event and providing me with the gameplay so I could bring it all to you. I can only show you the first part today, but if you want to see more, I've got plenty more footage. Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you're pumped for this game. Comes out this holiday, and we're kicking it off as a Devastator. I got a lot to go through and tell you about and talk to you about, but we're going to get right into the action. And you'll notice right from the jump, this game is fast, and this game is ferocious. It looks pretty good. It was captured on PC. I love that it's hitting next gen. I love that we're starting to see the lineup slowly, very slowly come together. Hopefully we'll learn more from Sony and Co. soon. But look at this baby right off the bat. It's not about hunkering down, hiding out, and taking it slow. It's about popping heads and leaving them all much more than dead. That's the People Can Fly mark, I think, is that intensity, that visceral gunplay. And they do have a lot of depth. There's no like loot boxes. They don't describe it as a games as service. There's no pay to win. They want to have the depth and the customization and the character creation and the missions of, you know, one of those Destiny, Anthem, Division type games. But they want to focus on the gameplay, and they want to be in your face with the action. We are the Devastator class. Now, this class is about getting up close and personal. It's kind of like a tank, taking damage, dealing damage. There's also the Trickster, who bends space and time, slows down time, gets in and gets out. It's kind of like a hit-and-run character. There's the Pyromancer, which is your mage for AoE fire attacks. But I love that it's just like, boom, you're using these big powers, you're moving with ease, and getting around to take out a lot of foes on a big battlefield. And then, obviously, the enemies aren't just sitting down to cry. They're losing arms and heads and body parts, which adds an intensity and an overall just different vibe to this game. Now, in full disclosure, I was unable to go to the event, so I did not play this footage here. They were kind enough to send me the footage. I've got a ton of it, but I've been talking to people who did get to play a bunch. I've been reading through a bunch. I've been watching a bunch, so I've got a pretty good grasp on the game, but I did want to be like transparent, let you know this isn't my gameplay. I didn't play it. I just have been lucky enough to see and be a part of this reveal here. A lot of weird stuff going on. And our character, talking a little bit about the story when we landed, we're on a planet called Enoch. Humanity is kind of messed up Earth. It's all wasted and worn down. Trying to find a new planet. You were put in trial, sent to space, sent to Enoch to investigate this signal. You get there, and of course everything goes helter-skelter, crazy balls instantly. These guys are big. I love that power. It reminds me, honestly, of Behemoth from Evolve. You guys know how much I love that game, but I love using these magical powers. Like that's the best part to me about Anthem, is the fact that you have multiple different sweet moves, and Outriders is all about that. Outriders is giving you a bunch of different things you can do. It's not just one ability, it's many abilities that you'll be adding and acquiring as you go, customizing via different classes within your character and create your character. But anyways, back to the story. You get to this planet and everything goes crazy. It's very much a Prometheus type storyline where there's some weird stuff in the environment. It's like Annihilation, the Natalie Portman movie, meets Prometheus, where you get to this planet, everything seems bright and beautiful, but it's like, oh my god, some weird stuff is going on. It's not just the flora and fauna, but something is messing with maybe their minds as well. Alright, these are our Devastator skills. So you've seen Earthquake a bunch of times. That's the one where you're blasting the Fury through the ground itself. Golem is allowing you to kind of hunker down and put yourself in a cocoon. You got a bunch more skills that you'll unlock and get to place and use 3 of them at once, which is pretty nice. There's also customization within your guns, your gear, and then your class as well.
smell the storm in your blood, your stink of Enoch. Your kind are abominations, exile.
Who the hell are you?
Outrider. Impossible. Such untapped power, such confusion. You want answers. Whatever you were before, you're something new now. A second life. Don't waste it.
Who was that?
Lord Zeth? He's altered. I'm just a little man. A little man.
Altered? What the fuck does that mean?
You. You don't know what you are. Where'd you steal that uniform?
Didn't, it's mine.
Yeah? If you's really an outrider, then you fight's on the wrong side. Altered.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Grand Marshal, she'll explain. Come.
Where is she?
There.
What is that?
Go.
Do whatever you have to do, Lieutenant.
Shira?
You're alive.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
You came from their side. You got any intel for us?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Look, I got a war to win, so either you help me, or you get back into cryo.
Hold on. I've just woken up to mud and shit. I've been asleep for God knows how many years.
31 years! So for 31 years, I've been seeing people fight and die while you were getting comfy in cryo. So excuse me for not throwing you a little welcome party.
What happened to you?
The anomaly! That's what happened.
You mean that storm?
We told them not to land. Anything more advanced than a grease engine that fried all our data. Wiped out. Couldn't grow crops or make medicine, so we ended up in the same place as when we left Earth. Just killing each other over the little we have left.
Why didn't you go somewhere else? The Outriders could have...
The Outriders are dead,
What?
and the anomaly keeps us in this fucking valley. We can't go anywhere else. You don't get it, do you? You think you're dreaming? This is real. Believe me, it's fucking real. So whether you like it or not, you're stuck here in the mud and shit like the rest of us. You should have never woken up.
Why did we miss out on all this?
Grand Marshal, we were too late. The Hounds have him. He's been taken underground.
Well, get him back.
Well, it may be our side, but that's not our turf, ma'am. I'm not losing people over Yakub.
Yakub. He's still alive?
Not too much longer, it seems.
Then I'll go find him.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Never mind. We've got it covered.
So I don't know if the story will end up being
Hey, Shira.
something that is truly
Geared up and tracking down Yakub.
awesome or
Who the
not,
hell are these assholes?
but I like the combination of Annihilation and
Drug runners
Prometheus.
and child slavers. They call themselves the Hounds. And believe me, no one's gonna miss them if you put a few dozen in body bags.
Why the hell haven't you done something about them already?
Honestly, because their black market keeps our soldiers happy. And at least they're not eating their own fucking kids like the insurgents we're fighting out there.
Yeah, I met a few of them. Not so friendly.
We're going after the Hounds, but what you're seeing here is world tiers. These are basically the way that you decide the difficulty of the game and the drops that you get. So it's upping the challenge to up the rewards, and you can sort of unlock these and then play as you see fit and modify the game to your liking, whether you're more into just cruising through or you want it to be super challenging. I guess it depends also how many people you're playing with. I don't think we've even touched on the fact yet. It's a 3-player co-op, but you can play totally solo. It's drop in, drop out, so you can bring someone along, kick them out. Maybe they have to go do something else, bring them back in, which I always like, as I routinely play solo. It's good to know I can play it by myself. I hope that the difficulty is curved for solo. It's something I've run into with these other looter shooters where you accidentally get to a point where you're like, crap, I'm solo, and I can't really go any further. You're getting to look at some of the customization there with the gear. We're actually going to go shopping for a bit and see what we got. I love the overall speed of the game. I think, like, get rid of all the plotting, slow down, downtime, and just get back to the good stuff as quick as possible. And even within the good stuff, the gameplay, the combat, like, there's a lot of just efficiency there. You got all sorts of gear. The gear reminds me most of the Division. I mean, it just kind of aesthetically and UI-wise looks like that. I'm hoping that there is greater variety since this is an alien world and since there's, like, crazy monsters and crazy skills. Eventually you're advancing, you know, if the first skill you get as Devastator is unleashing, like, an earthquake, a tsunami earthquake through the ground, where do you think it goes by the end of the game? You know, these games have a tall task to live up to and to achieve. You got to be good from beginning to end. You got to make sure that you don't give too much at the beginning so that it feels like you're growing and gaining along the way. You got to make sure that you don't give too little at the beginning so it's not a slog and you don't feel like you're making progress. You got to make sure the missions are varied and unique. You got to make sure the story is captivating. You got to make sure the characters are cool and fun to control. It is a balancing act. To me, it seems like cooking in a kitchen. You got to be a chef with this sort of game. You got to be a chef with, you know, any sort of RPG shooter, looter shooter, however you want to distinguish. I thought it was interesting that People Can Fly, you know, said that it's an RPG first, and shooting just happens to be the way that you battle versus like turn-based or selecting from a menu or action RPG. It's shooter. I thought that was really interesting to get an idea of where their headspace was when developing this.
I'm looking for Yakov Dubrovsky. Go away.
Listen, asshole. You got a gun pointed right at your...
Fun stuff. Fun stuff. I love Bulletstorm. My favorite part about Bulletstorm was like the crazy scoring system. I didn't finish Gears Judgment. I started it, but I never finished it. But I know that People Can Fly have chops, so I was excited to see their new project. And it's interesting to me that this was the genre they decided to tackle. And I think it's even more interesting that they decided to have it be something ready for next gen this holiday, and to kind of place their efforts and intensity on developing for brand new systems. I hope it pays off for them because I know they're a quality studio, good people over there. But we'll have to see what the game is like once you get the final retail build. It's always hard to judge with titles like this. You know, the promise at pre-release can be super high, and the slice of gameplay can be super grand and super fun. The mechanics can seem really polished, and the fun can be there, but as we've learned time and time again, you have to wait and see for how much content there ends up being, how it translates across 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours. I will say, it's interesting to me, most of these games usually gotta get pretty protected, especially if you're playing solo. Think about how you protect yourself in The Division and Anthem. But here, because they want you to get up close and personal, because it's about this violent, visceral combat, like, you're right in the action, right amongst many other enemies and your own, you know, compatriots, and you have solid survivability. So that's just like a different mental, tactical process and you know, plan than what I'm used to in these kinds of games. And I'll be eager to see if that, you know, just ups the ante and ups the chaotic fun, or if it starts to get boring because you're just pushing yourself straight into these engagements and you don't really have to worry or defend as much. Obviously, I'm sure the enemies will build as you build, but it'll be interesting to see. I wonder if you get it. Well, I wonder how it's going to release. If it's going to release all at the same time, next gen first, last gen first, cross gen. We'll have to see. Bringing in some beastie boys here. Some big brawlers. So after all of the anomaly, by the way, when you landed on Enoch, after the annihilation, just destruction derby, you go back into cryo sleep for 30 years, and when you wake up, the planet is not anywhere near as lush or beautiful as it was when you first began. It is much more demented, much more torn up, and everything and everyone is like struggle busing. There's a little Mad Max to it as well. And honestly, I think the inspirations are phenomenal. I mean, you could say Gears, you could say Bulletstorm. Those would make perfect sense as well. But you can see the time distortion, how these powers sort of work in concert. All of a sudden, we're symphonic and directing the action. La-da-da, slow down time, shotgun blast, up close and personal. I think Trickster, probably the coolest class. Bending space and time, slowing down time. Hit and run is kind of an interesting style of gameplay. I like that they tried to be a little bit different than the typical, like, hey, we're going to do a rogue, a mage, and a melee. You know, you still have those tropes, but they're kind of blending together. You know, the fact that the Trickster can slow down time and bend space and time, but also is like a hit and run, get in, get out. The fact that the Devastator isn't melee per se, but is about getting up close and personal, but also going to unleash these range attacks through the ground itself. I mean, this just looks sick. It's going to look so freaking good on PS5 and Xbox Series X. I cannot wait for those to drop. I hope we get the PS5 reveal soon. Cutting dudes in half is also pretty satisfying to witness. Sayonara, sucker. We will see you later. A little bit more bullet requirements here for these foes, and we're only, you know, very early in the game. I've got some boss footage for you, and so if you guys want, we'll chuck a look at that next time. I'll reserve my thoughts on the bosses for when we get here. I really hope, you know, that they are able to make it feel fresh throughout the adventure. And I like that, because People Can Fly have done more linear shooters in the form of Bulletstorm, Gears, Judgment, that maybe their design mentality is a bit different of how they will have you progress through an adventure, and the missions will be more of progressing through levels in a more linear fashion than a, like, hold this checkpoint arena fashion, if that makes sense. I really don't like that stuff. I'm kind of sick and tired of it. Here, let's take a look at what we got gun-wise. A rusty pistol, little shotgun. We got our coat. Do you like our coat? We got a few different pant options here. The loot is also going to need to be, it's not going to need to get cool. It's going to need to get cooler than that. It's going to need to get cooler than different colored pants. Like, because this is an alien world, I want you to eventually find some really neat, or at least just really weird stuff. You take a look at the trailers, there's obviously some creative foes, some creative enemies, and I hope that they borrow from the organic and technological wonders of this world to deliver unique outfits and things that are going to look better than just like a different colored pair of shoe. You know, I know that appeals to some people, but for me, like in a game like The Division, I just always like it when it's a little bit wilder, and it's hard. You know, it's hard because you got to make it so that every, you know, it doesn't affect gameplay, basically, what I'm trying to say. It can't be too crazy, it can't be too, but I really would love to see this game kind of go to the 10s by the end with the gear. Eventually, Devastator is going to get a like projectile rejection field where you can like hold up bullets and reflect them. Plenty more beyond that, but it starts off with a bang.
Hey!
Whoa. Oh, sorry, guys. I thought this was the bathroom. You okay?
I had it under control.
Been a while.
I know you. Kurva! Then I thought you were dead.
You'll soon be dead if you don't get your ass to Shears right now.
Sure. All right. Come meet me there when you're ready.
All right, that is going to do it for today. Like I said, I'm limited on what I can show you day one, but if you want to see more, I got plenty more footage I can bring you. We level up and hit 4, a little bit of extra health, a little bit of extra ability power, a little map screen action for you, and probably put some more points into our... Dude, what do you think of Outriders? Is this something you're excited about? Does it make you more excited that it is a next-gen game and can be a little bit of this shooter RPG looter action for your new system? What do you think? Do you think People Can Fly and Square Enix can team up to deliver something that beats the odds and is a really brilliant one of these games? It's got a very good foundation. I love the powers that they're souped up and fast and fun and intense and visceral. We'll have to see if they're able to deliver a complete package. For now, have a fantastic day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you had fun today. I love you a lot. Drink some hot chocolate. Be good to yourself and those out there. And until next time, thanks so much. We will see you all later.